Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to have you guys here. I'm just going to have a quick 2-minute presentation. Um, okay, I, I actually hate this. Okay, perfect. Oh, welcome to the Winter Symposium, guys. This is the brief schedule. So for 10 minutes, which is basically now, we're going to have the introduction. And then from 4:10 until 5:15 around, we're going to have your guys' presentations as well as live Q&A after each presentation for whatever you guys are curious about or want to hear from the presenter. And then for the next 15 minutes, we'll have a group discussion. And then we're going to wrap up and discuss the next steps for next semester where you're actually going to be implementing your projects. So here are just a brief expectations guideline. Your presentation should be 5 to 10 minutes each, so be mindful of time because we don't want to go over time. Also, if you guys don't have like a formal slideshow prepared, that is completely fine. You can honestly just speak about your presentation or your project, and that is totally fine. For the Q&A after each presentation, bring either questions or constructive feedback for the presenter and be considerate and thoughtful with your comments. And for the discussion, share everything. We want to hear your feelings, thoughts, questions, everything you basically experienced during this process. We also would love to hear any feedback that you have for us and our implementation of this program for you. So, yeah. Any questions?
No, that sounds
Sounds
good.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for outlining that, Lauren.
Yeah, of course. Okay, then without further ado, let's go to the first presenter. Is it Phoebe?
Hi, how you doing, Lauren? What's going on?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Thursday afternoon, and I'm very excited to present what I have prepared for you guys. Is it okay if I start screen sharing now?
Yeah, of course.
If I'm being honest, this is the first time that I'm actually screen sharing anything, so this is going to be interesting. Um,
It might prompt you to do a security thing, so if it does, just let us know. I'll walk you through it.
okay. Okay, it should be good. Let me know if you can see everything going on.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to present this now. Welcome, everybody. I am so glad that you guys are here to witness this with me. And what I'm presenting today is called the Impala Project. And I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what this means as far as my passion project and what I hope to achieve with this presentation. Sorry, I'm trying to navigate this. So, to outline this passion project of mine, why I chose the name Impala. Impalas represent grace, they represent agility, they represent the ability to overcome circumstances. And what I aim to do with this project is teach financial literacy and establish financial literacy in young girls and young women in places like Kenya. So if you would like to read this to yourself, you absolutely can. And what really strives me to choose this as my passion project is the fact that women contribute so much to their economy, and they contribute so much to the economy on a local and a national scale. I apologize if you hear my dog in the background. Um, and what I'm just striving to do with this project is teach them this financial literacy so they can propel themselves forward in their communities and contribute to the local economy. And in turn, teaching other people around them how to do the same.
Phoebe,
Uh,
real quick, I can only see in glances, but it looks like you're still on the first
It says I'm
slide.
still on the first slide.
Yes.
If I
There,
do
there,
something
that looks
like
like
this, I may have to do it
yes.
just like that. Okay. Is it
That
okay
seems
if
like
I,
it's
Or you can hit the present button in the top right corner. So click that, and then the left side, it should say
Yeah,
present
click
full
that
screen.
like purple
The one on
presenter.
the left.
Yeah.
Yep, perfect.
Can you see this slide now? Oh, it says my screen sharing is paused. That's probably why. All right, I'm probably going to have to do it just like this. I do
Yeah.
apologize.
That's fine.
I should know
That's
how to
totally
use
fine.
Canva by now. I really
No, no,
should.
no, you're totally fine.
That's a shame.
I
But
Canva wax all the time too.
I don't know why. I don't know why it wants to do this as soon as the percent. But I apologize for the inconvenience. But this is the slide that you guys missed. It is essentially entailing everything I told you, what the Impala project is, what it's based on, what this, what the purpose of everything is. And I also prepared a little graph for you guys. So this is financial access by gender. And it spans from the year 2006 to 2024. And why I included this for you guys to see is because I would like you guys to look at the difference in financial access and how that gap finally closed in this span of nearly 20 years. And if you would like a little more analysis for the graph, by 2024, the financial inclusion gap between men and women fell from 12.7 points in 2006 to 1.6 points in 2024. So, as we know, it is the same situation as several nations alike. It is not just Kenya alone. Many women have had issues accessing finances and understanding the economy and reference themselves and their families, hence why they weren't able to contribute as much. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that there is one sole reason why women weren't able to do so. In fact, there are so many avenues in which that converges, but what I included this graph for you guys to do is I would like you guys to see how over the years Kenya has evolved and how they have realized the importance of having women in the economic sectors understanding what to do and understanding how to contribute. So that gap has finally closed to a point where men and women have nearly identical access to financial services, which is exactly what we want. And this issue is just like this in every other nation. There are discrepancies and there are gaps in America. There are gaps in any nation or any continent as far as any gender um, inclusion situation. But I would just like to highlight how amazing it is that Kenya was able to achieve such an impressive gap in the 20-year span. And now I'm going to address the end goal. As I addressed before, what I strive to do is teach young girls financial literacy, and I've also gained word that at least where my school, Waldwick High School, is based, young girls already have a grasp of financial literacy through a program that was instated a few months or a few years back, which does provide me that foundation in order to execute this. And as many of you know, I think we can all attest to the economic situation in America. It is vital that people know how to traverse such a harsh, volatile environment such as this. So you could only imagine having very limited resources, not having that knowledge in order to traverse your environment the same way anybody else would, and being a woman and not knowing how to contribute when you desperately want to. So it is with the Impala Project that I hope to instill this confidence into young women and young girls and teach them how to be a pillar of strength for themselves and those around them, and how to navigate the world from a financial and economic standpoint. Because what economics really is a study of human psychology in context of money, in context of consumption, in context of spending, of trading. And in order to achieve success, at least in finances, you have to have a basic core understanding, and I hope to teach that to them. And as far as what I hope to teach them specifically, this slide essentially entails the basic skills that I think anybody would require in order to perform some finances, which include investing, understanding loans and interest, knowing how inflation works and the behavior of the economy at any given point in time, and more personal things like budgeting and emergency planning and relief, saving and spending. And over here in the asterisk, I just have a little bit of information in regards to the currency that we would also have to deal with because, again, economies are different in every single nation. The US dollar is not equivalent to the Kenyan shilling by any means, but we can work around that and we can collaborate with them hands in hand, walk them through the situation that they're in so they can navigate it smoothly. As far as strategies, the beautiful thing is that it's 2025, almost 2026. Resources are abundant, and we have so many ways to be able to execute the projects and the ideas that we have. So, some strategies that I intend to use in order to propel this project forward include digital marketing of any sort, group meetings. I would definitely love to establish very close interpersonal communication with the young girls so I can get a good grasp at what they truly think, which leads to direct communication via TEEM. TEEM is the only way I was able to even come up with this project, so I do appreciate them. Brainstorming sessions with absolutely anybody and everybody who has an idea that they would like to contribute, and lesson plans that entail the things that are to be learned from the previous slide. These are some statistical citations that I use in order to make this presentation and give information to you guys. I wouldn't have made this up out of my own head. I did the research and I saw that Kenya is such a beautiful nation. And I will attest to the fact that because I am living in a nation and I am so blessed as to not have to worry about these situations, I can only extend the confidence that I have in spending to people who don't have it. And I know that many of you guys could feel the same for anybody who lives any circumstance that may not be that favorable. And I will say, in concluding this presentation for you guys, the three adjectives or three concepts that I would like you guys to take away from the Impala Project is confidence, assertion, and grace. Because it is with those three things that women can navigate this environment and do the things that they were ever destined to do. And that concludes my presentation. I really appreciate you guys for listening, and I hope that the Impala Project explodes into something beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Phoebe.
Nicely
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. I really appreciate everything. I really do.
That
Thank
was
you.
amazing.
I love that you named this the Impala Project. It's a very common animal in the Kenyan savannah.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys for listening. I'm so glad that I'm blessed to be able to present this to you guys, really, because you guys are such amazing people. And I understood that, you guys would receive this. And I would also love to extend my utmost gratitude to Frida Zeal. She has been amazing and she has been monumental in this process. And we have met and we have spoken. And this beautiful young lady is one of the reasons why I was able to execute this. So I would just love to thank Frida for being here beside me in this journey of creating this. And I hope that we can see this project through.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Phoebe? Any comments?
I
I definitely
just
do. Oh, no, go ahead, Gavin.
you can go first, don't worry.
I definitely do. And it might be a complete coincidence that you're emphasizing the word grace so much, Phoebe. Are you planning on working with the Grace School and Team's connection with the Grace School in Kenya?
I absolutely am, and I am so glad you made that connection. I will tell you this, ever since I joined Team and I've tutored these beautiful young minds, you just see how bright and intelligent they are. And I will say what pains me, as happy as I am to meet with them every single Tuesday morning, what pains me is the fact that they are so intelligent and yet they don't have the resources to execute these amazing
Right.
ideas.
Hmm.
They simply, by chance, do not have the ability to pursue the things that they want to as easily as we would. So when I thought about including that word, I had to think back to things that I knew, I witnessed, and things that I saw. And I'm so glad you made that comment. And I really do appreciate it because it shows that you have just as beautiful of a mind as they do. And it's a really good thing. So I do
I've
thank you for that.
I've been working with Grace a lot, as Taylor can attest, through another program with TEEM. And we have a lot of experience working with the teachers implementing curriculum. So if you
Mhm.
ever want any experience with that or anything, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. I would love to. Thank
That's
you.
so nice, Calvin.
I just wanted to say I really enjoyed your presentation. I think you speak really well. Just
Thank
wanted to
you,
note on
Gavin.
that.
I really
Really
do.
impressed. But I just wanted to comment to say like my project was actually like similar to begin with. Like I was really interested in the financial literacy aspect of things
Mhm.
because I'm interested in finance myself. My project kind of like swayed a little bit from finance, but like Sophia just texted me before and she thought like we could incorporate back into it. So I just wanted to say like I really love your project. Like we were kind of like thinking the same way and yeah,
Absolutely.
great presentation.
Thank you so much, Gavin. You have such a beautiful mind, and I can tell you're very intelligent. And I would definitely recommend incorporating finance. Why? Because when it comes to things like economics, like I said, it's really just human psychology. And in a world like this, where people and things are so monetary and everything comes down to a trade of two or more things, it's important to know how to navigate that without being intimidated or especially because I feel as though our economy itself is so volatile. You could only imagine what it's like navigating an economy elsewhere. So if you ever need that push toward finance, I guess I'm going to give that to you. So I definitely recommend incorporating it. And I would love to see what you have in store. And I thank you so much for letting me know that.
Okay, for time, we're going to move on to the next presenter. Thank you so much again, Phoebe. So, Natalie, are you ready?
Yes, let me see if I can share my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I see it.
It will work. Do you still see it? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working in present mode as
Okay,
well.
perfect. Thank you. So I'm here to introduce Threads of Team, which is my passion project. And just for some context, something about me is that I love learning about others. I was fortunate enough to go to South Dakota and meet the Lakota Nation, where I was able to build a teepee, as you can see in this picture. And we were just able to learn more about their cultures and their experiences. And then last June, I was able to also go to Arizona to meet the Navajo Nation. So it really is something that I enjoy meeting people, learning about them, and also like their lifestyles. And I want to continue this in the future. I want to find a way to connect people who can also learn more about others. So that leads me to Threads of Team, and it would just connect team students and teachers together through a virtual pen pal system. And I hope that this is accessible to many different sites, for example, schools in the US, Kenya, Uganda, Ukraine, and it's just like a system that everyone can use so that they can meet someone new that they can learn something from them too. So how would this work? It would there would be like a website. That is something that I'm planning to create where you would have you where you would fill out this questionnaire, for example, asking first name, age, for like safety reasons, it would be like within a range. So you would say like 10 to 13 year olds. Or and then you could include some of your interests, your country, maybe state if you're from the United States, and then any specific requests. For example, if your school works with a school in Kenya, maybe you would want to be paired with someone in Kenya. But the great thing about this is that someone from Kenya might be paired with someone from Ukraine, and that also fosters more of like a cultural understanding. And so using all the responses from the questionnaire, it would be formulated into a database that can also then pair people together. I talked to Taylor about this, and we would hope to use like AI as an easy way to have it like pair people for you together, so that like it's not relying on someone to manually do it. And so then once these matches are created, then the students will be notified, and that is when the actual pen pal system can work. So students or teachers after they receive their pairs, they'll be able to like upload um their like message or something. There may be like I'm thinking of having like numerous templates, and then where they can just write a message and easily send it through online, or they can write their own handwritten letter, take a picture, and also send it through there. And something great is that like you may be also I'm also hoping to incorporate this option to upload pictures. I feel like pictures are a great way to also visually see what it's like. And then after you upload your letter, you can send it to the other person and they can read it. For teachers, this process may be the same as well, where they can then share like lesson plans and project ideas with other teachers. Yeah. And then for a more traditional feel, like if you want to be like physically holding a paper and kind of like an actual pen pal where you're like sending letters, then if you have access to a printer, a way to do this is you can just print it out and read it. And so another idea for this website would be having a community page where each month there will be like a theme or like an assignment that teachers and students can participate in. So for example, on this page, and like let's say the month was March, the question may be like, what does education mean to you? And then you can upload or draw like a response for this question. Someone may say that education means like opportunity, and so then you would express that. And it's also a great way to see what other people think and to just kind of see like, are there any like cultural differences, cultural similarities, or and just kind of like bring gratitude. So for the next steps for me at least, I'm planning on starting the website and that would be done by hopefully early February. And for my current options for websites would be Wix and Google Forms, but I am looking for suggestions on like other platforms to make websites on. And then I would hope to announce this at the mid-year conference in March, because I know that like a pen pal system is something that many people are interested in at TEEEM, and the mid-year conference is one of those big team events that connects everyone. And then in the future, I hope that Threads of Team becomes a place, an easy way to streamline pen pals between team schools. And that's it. Thank you.
Yay, oh my gosh, awesome job, Natalie. That
Thank
was
you.
another amazing presentation. I think the idea of a pen pal system via website is really innovative and also really pertinent in today's world because I feel like we need to bridge a lot of cultural gaps. Okay, are there any comments or questions for Natalie?
Yeah, I have three things. One, for like, if you're looking for a website, I know the robotics team at my school, they have like their own website and they do use Wix. And like I've heard people like recommend it to me that it is a really good like website to build websites off of. Two, I just want to say I really liked your presentation. Like I can never get Canva and be that good, so I just want to say it was very like aesthetically pleasing. And third, I just want to say like personally like my project is very similar to that. Like I was thinking of doing like kind of like a pen pal system, so I think your project's really well put together and it's a good idea.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
An Another input about the websites. Um, it may be entirely outside of the scope you want, but if you're looking for really granular control of how your website
Mhm.
works, GitHub does site hosting where you can edit the code HTML direct and upload it
Mhm.
straight to the site and implement it in sort of like a it's essentially it's like Google Sites, but instead of having like all the templates, it's you actually go in and edit the HTML code. That may be way beyond what you want, but if you're looking for that kind of granular control, GitHub Sites works really well.
How do you spell
I was
that?
also gonna say, sorry, go ahead, Ken.
It's spelled GITHUB Sites.
Got it. Thank you.
Of course.
Um, I was also gonna say, Natalie, I have Dariella. She's been looking into a few options, and we think we found one that could fit what you're looking for. So she just created like a student and a teacher. So
Mhm.
we're playing around with that to see if that's a good option for you. So that'll be something in the next few days, probably early next week, that I will share with you so that you can see if it's what you're looking for. Plus, we have networked now, which is something that we can also see because that could be another alternative. So that way you can focus more on systems rather than the actual physical building of the site, unless you choose to do that, you know?
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks again, Natalie. Next up, we have Caitlin.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. Just let me know if it works. Okay, is it working?
No. Oh, yes.
Yeah, just loaded in.
Okay. Let me see if I can get the present, but okay, I see. Okay, can you guys see it if it's in this mode, like presentation mode?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on presentation.
You can see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so my proposal is the Ugandan Artisan Initiative. So project overview. So my project aims to support Ugandan artisans, especially women and youth, by helping them sell their handmade jewelry and other work locally and internationally. I hope to provide tools for marketing, branding, and storytelling to increase their income and visibility. Through this initiative, artisans can share their cultural craftsmanship with a wider audience while earning fair, sustainable income. I'm overall passionate about helping others achieve success, especially other women, and I want others to have the same opportunities that I do despite coming from underprivileged communities. So, by using my marketing and outreach skills, I truly hope to make an impact on their lives. So, here are some of the challenges faced by these Ugandan artisans. So, one of them is limited market access. Many of these artisans rely on small local markets that fluctuate seasonally and offer low profit margins. There's also a lack of marketing and branding tools. They often lack promotional materials or digital presence, which is needed to reach wider audiences. They have unreliable infrastructure. Things like transportation, internet access, and electricity can be inconsistent, making it pretty difficult to communicate with buyers or to deliver products. There's also a limited understanding of global consumer preferences. For example, they don't always know exactly what designs, colors, or products appeal most to international buyers. Financial instability is also a big problem because the income is unpredictable, which makes it difficult for these artisans to invest in materials, tools, or business growth. And then there's also a few opportunities for business mentorship, as many of these artisans don't have access to mentors who can guide them through pricing, marketing, developing new products, and overall just expanding their business, which can make it harder for them to continue to grow. So, to solve these challenges, I want to create new marketing and sales opportunities that help the Ugandan artisans reach more customers and earn reliable income. One thing I want to do is create social media pages for the artisans, such as building Instagram or TikTok pages to show their jewelry and other work, behind the scenes videos, and overall get their background stories to help attract global customers. I also want to sell their products internationally by bringing their products to US farmers markets, student events at schools, small boutiques, and even local shops where I live to help create like consistent sales channels. I also want to highlight their cultural stories and craftsmanship and share the meaning behind the designs and their backgrounds and just show like the cultural significance of their work to build connection with other people across the world. I also want to ensure that they're getting fair and direct payment and setting up like transparent pricing so the artisans can receive fair compensation for every piece sold, which will help them achieve more reliable income. And I also want to help develop simple and attractive packaging and branding to tell their stories and elevate the value of each item. So, some specific goals that I have for this project are to create and launch about 2 to 3 social media accounts, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, to show their jewelry and products. And I hope to at least reach around like 500 views maybe in the first 3 months. I'm going to start by partnering with around 10 to 15 artisans to develop a small initial like collection, maybe starting off with jewelry to like for local and international testing. I also want to introduce the products to 3 to 5 new sales channels, whether it's once again like a local farmers market near me, school events, local boutiques, and also just shops in Uganda. And I hope to aim for them to have 20 to 30% higher profit per piece compared to what they're earning right now. Again, I want to create simple branding materials like logo, packaging, story card to help strengthen their appeal. And I just want to build a reliable system where students in the future can continue to work with these people and expand the project beyond what I just began to do. So, for expected impact, I think economic impact is one of them because they can gain a reliable income and they can support their families, reinvest in materials, and expand production. Social empowerment, I want to empower women and youth to gain confidence in their entrepreneurial skills and get broader recognition for their craftsmanship. Community development, as increased income can support education, health, and local economic activity. And also cultural preservation, as these jewelry designs and other product techniques are rooted in Ugandan traditions. And when they gain global visibility, it can encourage cultural pride. So, my next steps are to meet with the Uganda site leader to identify their needs and how we can support them through branding, marketing, and international sales. I also want to identify around 10 to 15 pilot artisans. I want to begin to make branding and packaging designs, begin social media pages. Once again, I want to test the sales in local Ugandan markets, but also US markets. And I just want to gather feedback overall and refine the idea as I begin to do it. And closing, so I'm so grateful for this opportunity to work with the team in Yale UNICEF, and thank you guys so much for your support. And I hope to create meaningful change for these Ugandan artisans and share their stories. So thank you so much.
Awesome job, Caitlin.
Yeah, that was amazing. I actually have a question. Sorry, Taylor, were you gonna say something?
No, I've been working a little bit with Caitlin, and so I'm really impressed with where you've come with some of your ideas, and hopefully we'll be able to get connected with the team in Uganda to help you expedite.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a question. With the artisans that you're working with, are you going to promote them all together? Like, are they going to be collaborating to create their products, or are you trying to promote them individually?
So I think I'm going to try to get them to be all together maybe, but also after I meet with the site leader, it really just depends on like if they're all in close proximity to each other because I feel like it might be more difficult if they all live like kind of farther from each other. And I hope to like make it into one big like community together by doing this, but I guess it kind of just depends on after I meet with them. So I'll have to see.
Yeah,
But
that will work because they're
okay.
referred to as the grandmothers. So the grandmothers are, a lot of them own these little businesses and they are used to doing it cooperatively.
Okay.
So your ideas are exactly what they are likely going to be able to support.
Okay, perfect.
Are there any other comments or questions?
I just wanted to say I really like your project. I'm Team Uganda too, so if you ever need any help, like reaching out to site leaders or just like helping with your project, I'm here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I also had something to say. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I was at the Peru huddle where I heard the woman talk about like what Awamaki, that's like their nonprofit organization, what they do. And it's actually pretty similar to what you suggested, where they're like helping female artisans like also expand their craft. And they were able to establish it in like global markets or like in their tourism in Peru. So I feel like if you are ever stuck, you can definitely like check out one of the Peru huddles and talk to the actual woman to see like how they have been able to like facilitate this.
Okay, I'll definitely have to do that. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I remember that too back at last year's symposium, like the year before. I did spoke with like the per site leader, and she had like a really similar idea to yours. So I'm pretty sure they have that established by now. So if you want to like have any like ideas, like definitely go to them.
Okay,
Those are great recommendations, guys. I didn't even think of that.
thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Caitlin. All right, next up is Ria.
Hi. I'm gonna share my screen. Um, can you guys see the presentation?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
So my name is Ria, and my project focuses on water scarcity. So, me and my mentor started outlining what I would include on my trifold as well as my initiative. So, I wanted to include an overview of the issue, so explaining water scarcity in Burkina Faso and the Georgie Badial Foundation, which is the foundation that the team chapter at Northern Highlands works with. And then I wanted to include the UN goals that my initiative supports that I'll go on later on in the presentation, waterborne diseases, the articles that me and my mentor have researched together, and then finally the initiative that I've proposed. So, for an overview of the issue, the Georgie Badial Foundation takes the money that many of the team um, clubs that raise for the foundation, they use that money to build wells and oases. So, as a chapter at Highlands, we've done a variety of fundraisers like a 5K, a gala, and this year we're doing a hypnotist show towards this organization. So this is where a majority of my passion came for this project because I just love what we do and what we fundraise for, and I love organizing all the events. So, with this being said, some of the UN goals that my project supports is no poverty, good health and well-being, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and then reduced inequalities. Um, the clean water and sanitation comes from the wells and oases that the Georgie Badial Foundation builds, as well as the no poverty, good health and well-being. And then for gender equality and reduced inequalities, since the foundation builds the oases, they provide a lot of opportunities for women in STEM. And then going more into the research that I did. So some of the waterborne diseases that are present from water scarcity in Burkina Faso is cholera, fever, hepatitis B, and some other ones. So cholera is a diarrheal disease that's caused by drinking water that's contaminated. Typhoid fever is a bacterial illness that's caused by ingesting contaminated water as well. And then hepatitis A is like a viral liver infection that's transmitted through contaminated water. So having researched these diseases that exist, I wanted to find a way to help combat the issues that exist in Burkina Faso. So I've read through some articles and researched some of the recommendations that they provided. And some of the recommendations included improving disease integrating climate health data, promoting sectoral collaboration across health, environment, and policy sectors, and like protecting and managing the water sources that already exist as well as raising public awareness on safe water and food handling. So the initiative that I was able to come up with, a little different from some of the other projects. It's a little harder to do in real life. It's more of like an idea, but it's based on this service trip program. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Operation Smile, but it's that organization that allows students to travel to different countries and help with surgeries for cleft care. So I was inspired by that idea to do something similar with TEEM, where TEAM students could be assigned a country and be allowed to travel to that country and that is dealing with water scarcity and all of these waterborne diseases that I mentioned before and be able to send these water bracelets, which change color when you place the bracelet in the water, depending on how much contamination is in the water, as well as mini water filters, where schools and families can adopt a filter to be placed in the countries. And these filters would not only filter the water, but when the contamination is high, they would be able to notify nearby people that would be trained on how to combat the contamination, which would also provide more jobs in the area to come and work on the filters so that they can provide more fresh water. And that's it.
Awesome job, Ria. This is actually really cool because I'm personally not very much a science person, so I think it's really impressive that your project is very science-based, and also this is very important for health and wellness. Yeah. Anyone
So
have any anyone have any questions or comments for Ria?
I really like the idea of the bracelets. I think that's really like a smart like component to think of.
Okay, thank you.
I have a quick comment, just a question if it's you've seen it at all. Um, do you know the water filtration packets that I think they came onto the market about a couple of years ago? They're essentially like chemical packets that what they do is they sift contaminants out of water almost like a panning bed. And what you do is you pour the packet into the water, and then the contaminants naturally sift themselves to the bottom and leave clean water on top. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know. I don't know if that kind of thing has any place in your project or not, but it's a thing I know about that I immediately thought of when we're talking about trying to combat water contamination.
I'll definitely look into that because I feel like that would be more cost effective too.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks again, Ria. All right, guys, we are doing amazing. I've been loving the presentation so far. I'm genuinely so impressed. Next is Calvin.
All righty. All righty. Let me share my screen. Share. Oh, no, that's what we want. Um, can you here? I'm trying to see what you guys can see. Oh, oh my goodness. Technical difficulties. All right, share. Um, let's slideshow here. Can you guys see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, we see it. It's just not in present.
It's not on present.
No, it's just like you can see like all the slides, but we're on slide 3 too.
That's weird. Oh, why is my screen sharing paused? Stop pausing my screen sharing. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. We're having a flashback to Phoebe. Good Lord. Sorry. All right. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this computer is completely dying on me. I'd really like to present this. Can we present, please? Why is it doing this?
It's okay if you can't put it in full screen. I think if maybe you could just zoom in on your main screen.
Here, you know what? Why don't I just share my entire screen? There we go. Haha. Can you
Okay,
see
looks
this?
great. Yep.
Can you guys see this? What if I shift through?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, great. Sorry about that. I gotta get it into presentation mode. Sorry, I'm gonna be talking a little bit fast because I got a lot to cover. This is my project pitch. Um, so my project is a little bit different than all of your guys's. I've structured it in the structure of a classical engineering proposal. So I'll be covering the problem and then the solution, but through a technical lens. So, what is the problem I'm trying to tackle? Well, the problem I'm trying to tackle is actually a bunch of different problems, but they're all housed under the umbrella of renewable energy. Renewable energy is the future of our modern electricity demands. However, renewable energy has a fatal flaw. Production management. Take solar panels, for example. Solar panels can generate all the electricity we need and more in the world right now. However, they can only generate that electricity when the sun is out. The sun is only out for half of the entire year. For that other half, we have no electricity whatsoever. It's the same way for wind turbines. Wind is blowing, great. Wind not blowing, uh-oh. Um, so that's the real issue with renewable energy. Renewable energy is the future, but it's not ready for us just yet. On top of that, the high cost of renewable energy systems is discouraging further growth and trying to develop and meet those problems with new solutions. Um, on top of that, additionally, it's difficult for average people to feel like they have any way of contributing to sustainability efforts or trying to take advantage of renewable energy because of all these barriers to access and because the problem seems so large that it feels like you can't do anything to help. Um, Going back to the issue of production, the main solution to that is energy storage, which the main solution to energy storage is batteries, right? Now, that's great, but batteries are inherently flawed for two reasons. One, mining the materials for batteries is harmful to the earth. And two, the degradation of batteries over time is harmful to people because they can generate toxins. So, why does this matter? Well, obviously, global warming is rapidly growing worse. We're seeing the worst weather events, the highest temperatures, and that is all because efforts to limit our output of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases aren't actually meeting the goals that we've set before ourselves. And they haven't been for a while now. And because of that, efforts to meet those goals can't just consist of reducing our emissions. We've reached the point where we actually have to start subtracting carbon dioxide from the air in order for us to have any chance of meeting our goals and trying to mitigate the effects of global warming. So, now, what is the solution? Our mission: develop a method of safe, cheap, and scalable energy storage using carbon negative technologies to assist in the domestic and industrial transition to clean and sustainable energy production and usage. What does that mean? Well, safe and cheap obviously explains themselves. Scalable is the key here. I'm looking to develop a technology that can be used simultaneously on a scale of the entire US electrical grid to an individual home. I want people to be able to feel like they're making an impact no matter where this technology is being used. It's energy storage because we're not generating. Obviously, we're utilizing energy that's generated through renewable systems and then storing it. And then carbon negative means that we're subtracting carbon dioxide from the air. Our solution is based on cutting edge research from across the nation. It's a combination of technologies, and it is capable of capturing carbon dioxide out of the open air anywhere in the planet. And it uses that carbon dioxide to store electricity in shelf-stable chemical compounds that can be reused to generate electricity at any time. How does that work? It operates in roughly a three-step process. Step one, we utilize this carbon capture technology to retrieve pure CO2 from the air. That's the carbon negative aspect. We use that CO2 then in order to form a material called formate salt. Formate salt is very electrochemically efficient. That means it stores a lot of energy in the bonds of the chemical, meaning that we can store the electricity in the bonds of salt. Then, when we need the electricity, we can break down the salt and get that electricity back to be used in the home or on the grid or anywhere else. Now, before I get into the weeds of technical details, I like to break for a metaphor, an extended metaphor that I believe really helps us understand this concept. Engineering, often the best solutions are found in nature. And I find that a really natural process that we're very familiar with resembles this process and serves as a great extended metaphor in order to understand the whole thing. So, what is this in detail? Well, it's based on a key research paper from UC Berkeley and a key research paper of a partnership between Harvard and MIT. We start with growing a tree, quote unquote. We grow the tree with COF-999. That's a product of the UC Berkeley research. It stands for Covalent Organic Framework. That doesn't matter, really. It's just the naming. COF-999 is able to capture carbon dioxide from the open air and then can be heated to 60 degrees Celsius and release all that carbon dioxide to be used again. So COF-999 is capable of capturing and releasing carbon ad infinitum, meaning that we can collect it like the leaves of a tree collecting energy to grow the tree. We quote unquote grow the tree through electrolysis. Electrolysis is a chemical process that allows us to take electricity to synthesize a chemical. So what we do is we take the material that we've gathered with the COF and we use electrolysis to create the formate salt that I mentioned before. That creates the tree, essentially the bark, the wood, that we can then, quote unquote, chop down and use as firewood. So, what is the fire? The fire is our direct formate fuel cell, or DFFC. It's a technology that essentially reverses the process of electrolysis. It breaks down the formate in order to release the electricity that we used to create it. And it then releases that electricity and we can use it in whatever application, like burning firewood for heat and energy. Now, what could be the impacts of this? Well, first and foremost, like I mentioned, it fulfills the crucial niche in renewable energy infrastructure expansion that I was talking about before. It fills the gap that we need in order to make renewable energy really effective on a global scale. It provides a long-term alternative to battery technology, which is harmful for the reason I mentioned earlier, as well as a more efficient solution than hydrogen power, which operates extremely closely to this system, if you've ever heard of hydrogen power, but is inefficient for a number of reasons, which I won't go into here. And the other thing about it, as stated in the mission statement, this is scalable. It can go from industry applications to an average American home. Speaking of an average American home, I did some calculations based on average statistics for an American household and scaling the technology to match. A single average American household could subtract over 400 moles of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere per day. Now, I'm sure you're asking, what the hell is a mole? Well, a mole is a chemical unit that stands for over 2 million molecules. That's 400 times over 2 million of carbon dioxide molecules per day. And that goes into not just environmental impacts, but financial as well, because in just 5 days, an average American household could store an entire extra day's worth of energy. That's getting 6 days worth of energy for every 5 days that you use your renewable energy technologies, meaning that you can save a sixth of your electrical bills every month, about $22. That adds up to over 200 when we're talking on a year-long scale. Now, talking about matching the UN sustainability goals as we were intending this entire time. Obviously,
Calvin, just letting you know, could you wrap it up in 2 minutes just for time?
Oh, I'm so close to the end.
Amazing.
Obviously, it works towards affordable and clean energy, as I was talking about. And it's completely linked with infrastructure. It's infrastructure in order to guarantee clean energy. because of the nature of the technologies, it works towards goal 12 by utilizing what we have produced and is clogging up the air now. We can use it in order to generate something beneficial to the world. And all of that is in service of climate action, trying to reduce climate change as much as we can, as quickly as we can. Yeah, that's everything. Thank you.
Yay! Okay, that was seriously very impressive. I was following along with the science and I was like, "Oh wow, that's a lot of brain power." Does anybody have comments or questions for Calvin? I have a question actually. So, recently, I don't know if you've seen the news, but as a political science major, this is kind of my niche, but the Trump administration has recently taken further steps to kind of crack down on climate change, like sustainable renewable energy goals. And so
Yeah.
I know that you are a very like STEM-based person with a STEM-based project, but I was wondering if you have any considerations about collab or doing research on the political background of your issue or collaborating with maybe organizations who look at those things to see how realistic the implementation of your project might be.
I haven't really considered from a political angle. The most I've considered is because exactly like you've said, especially because there's a lot of history to sustainability efforts, and you're working in a very corporate space. My train of thinking was always if this technology can be made not only working towards obviously a better Earth, but also can be made profitable, that's going to turn it on a dime from cracking down on sustainability efforts to, oh, this is a profitable new technology that we can sell to energy companies, build infrastructure in the US, build jobs, which the Trump administration is all about.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments for Calvin? Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Next we have, sorry, just pulling up the list. Does anyone know who's next? Oh, it's Gavin.
Yeah, I think it's me.
I'm excited to see your presentation because you seem to have a lot in common with the other ones.
Yeah. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
No.
Oh, does it work now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, it's still in.
Yeah, I know. I didn't put it into present mode yet.
Okay.
Okay, does it work now in present?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Gavin Woodtrick. I am from Riverdale High School, and I will be presenting my TYS project called the Goal Exchange Initiative. This project focuses on the youth well-being, productivity, and cross-cultural collaboration. My idea brings students together from Nyaka, Uganda, and students here in Bergen County, New Jersey, to support each other through guided goal setting, accountability, and personal growth. My project is grounded in the two United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 3, the good health and well-being, and SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. I believe that these two goals are connected in a really powerful way. When young people learn how to set meaningful goals, stay motivated, and take care of themselves mentally and emotionally, they build strong foundations for their futures. And that's what my project tries to support. So why Nayaka? My school's team club is partnered with Nayaka because we're Team Nayaka, I mean Team Uganda, and through that I've gone to learn a lot about Nayaka's community in a really personal way. Over the past year at the symposium and the workshop, I spoke with Jackson Kaguri, the Nayaka founder, Sneha Harsh, and some other representatives from Nayaka. Listening to them talk about their students, the challenges they face, the responsibilities they carry, the strength they show, made me feel like I already had a connection to the community. I love Nayaka's mission and the resilience of the kids there, and that's why it made me want to build something that wasn't just a school project, but something that actually could bring students together and create real growth for both sides of the story. So my motivation for the project, I am a really productive person. I believe in well-being and personal growth, and that's kind of how I grew up. So those values are very important to me. Something my grandpa used to say is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I've kind of kept with that my whole life. I've always believed in staying productive, pushing myself, and not relying on shortcuts, even when everyone else is kind of cheating and cutting corners. I like having a full schedule. I like working on something at all times, and I like building habits that help me in the long run and set me up for a good future. But I also recognize that today, with tools like AI and different shortcuts we have available, it's really easy for people, even me, to skip the hard parts. While AI can be helpful, relying on it too much stops us from learning independence and real problem solving. You can get good grades using shortcuts, but that doesn't help you become confident or capable in the real world. So, my motivation for this project is helping young people develop strong habits and productivity instead of just looking for fixes. And this isn't just a US issue. Students everywhere from New Jersey to Nyack have their own challenges staying motivated, organized, and mentally balanced, and that's why this project connects both worlds. Okay, so a little overview on the project. Um, it's structured on a youth-centered program where students in Nyack and students in Riverdale are paired together one-on-one. Each pair supports each other in setting meaningful goals, tracking their project, and building healthier and more productive routines. This isn't one group helping the other, it's a true partnership. Both sides bring something important to the table, and in hence both learn and grow. So, how will this program work? So, I want the program to run in monthly cycles, with each cycle having three parts: connection, goal setting, and accountability. So, the first time that the students meet, each student gets paired with someone from the other country. Their first meeting is an introductory session where they get to know each other, learn about each other's lives, and do some guided activities to build trust. This is really important to the whole program because we really want the students to feel both safe and respected in what they're saying and their goals. The students also implement one goal on the first session, which they aim to achieve by the end of the program. So this can be anything to like learning a new skill, like cooking, or learning a new subject like a certain science or something like that. So the second part is at the beginning of every month, each student creates one short-term goal that they want to achieve by the end of the month. So these short-term goals help build into the one goal they want to have by like a year from now. So these goals will fall under three categories: well-being, productivity, or skill building. So other examples might include improving study habits, organizing a better schedule, reading more consistently, practicing a sport or hobby, learning a new skill, or just managing stress. So this program uses a simplified version of the SMART goal setting system. And then third is the accountability section. So every month, each pair also checks in with each other, either through voice note, message, reflection form, and they're basically just updating each other on what they completed, what they struggled with, and what they plan for their short-term goal next month. So this can help keep students accountable and make sure that they're actually working towards these goals. So at the end of the program, everyone meets together for a group reflection session. During this part, they talk about what goals they hit, what challenges came up, how their well-being shifted, and what habits they want to carry into the future. Expected impact. In the long run, I expect this program to help students build stronger routines, better self-awareness, and more confidence. I also think both groups will develop a better understanding of each other's cultures, which is something you can't just learn from a textbook. My goal is this. My goal is that this becomes a model that could be expanded, either within TEEM or in more schools, or even in just more communities partnered with NIACA. I want it to be something that grows beyond just one year. So this is my research portion about like the science behind goal setting and achievement. So research across psycho, oh, and organizational sciences show a strong, consistent link between specific goal setting, accountability, and improved performance. And it also connects goal progress to better well-being. Writing down goals and adding accountability increases success. Experimental work by Gail Matthews and colleagues at Dominican University found that people who wrote goals, made action commitments, and reported progress to a friend achieved significantly more than people who only thought about their goals. In that study, groups that used written goals plus accountability and weekly progress reports achieved the most, and writing goals alone produced substantially higher achievements than not writing the goals. This supports building both written plans and partner-based check-ins into our program design. Habits that take time but become automatic with consistent repetition. Classic habit formation research led by Philippa Lally shows the average time for a new behavior to reach automacy is 66 days, but with wide variation across people and different behaviors. More recent reviews confirm habit formation is a variable, but typically contains weeks to months. This shows why our program uses monthly cycles repeated over time rather than just expecting instant change. And lastly, goal progress is linked to a better subjective well being, especially when goals fit personal values. Self coordinates research shows that people whose goals align with their values and interests invest more sustained effort and are more likely to reach them and experience increases in well being when they make progress. In short, achieving personal, meaningful goals doesn't just improve productivity, it also improves happiness and life satisfaction. And this is for after the program happens to collect data on the success. So to understand whether this program truly works, I designed a detailed data collection and evaluation project that is both realistic for Nyack and New Jersey and meaningful in measuring the impact on well-being, productivity, and goal setting. Before this program begins, both students in both locations will complete a baseline survey that measures three things: their current goal setting abilities, their time management and productivity habits, and their emotional well being. This means students will rate how confident they feel in breaking goals into smaller steps, how often they finish things they start, how they manage distractions, and how supported or stressed they feel during schoolwork. This gives us a measurable starting point. After that, each month the students will fill out a structured goal tracking logs that document whether they completed their short-term goals, what challenges they faced, what strategies worked, and what they used to stay on track. These logs also let them rate their focus, motivation, stress, confidence on a simple 1 to 5 scale, so we could watch how their emotional well-being changes over the course of the program. Because accountability is a core part of this project, students will also complete feedback forms every month where they evaluate their partner's ability to complete their goals, communicate consistently, and choose a realistic plan. They'll also write a short reflection about how they supported and motivated each other. At the midpoint and end of the program, the students will repeat the baseline survey, this time with added questions about whether they feel the program has changed their habits, boosted their confidence, or improved consistency. Therefore, we can see their growth over the course of the program.
Hey, Gavin,
Finally,
sorry, we're at time.
yes.
Do you think you can wrap up really quick?
Yeah, this is the last paragraph, and then I have a little conclusion. Finally, because numbers don't tell the whole story, the project also includes qualitative data such as monthly reflections, optional audio recordings, and end of program letters describing what they learned. These stories capture emotional growth, cultural understanding, and changes in mindset. All of this data, both numerical and personal, will be combined to a simple impact report that shows how the project supported SDG 3 by improving emotional well-being and confidence, and SDG 8 by helping students build the kind of goal setting and productivity habits that lead to future economic stability and success. So in conclusion, I want to thank Sophia, Taylor, Jackson, Sneha, my mom, of course, for helping me with this project. And I hope this project combines what research says works: clear goals, implementation plans, accountability, and consistent practice with real connection and respect for a shared community. My aim is to build something practical, evidence-based, and expandable, a program that helps young people become more productive, more resilient, and more ready for the future. Thank you. That's it.
Awesome job, Gavin. That was a really nice and put together presentation. Yeah, I agree with Taylor. Does anyone have any comments?
I just want to say that was a really good presentation. And also, at my school for National Honor Society, every month we meet with freshmen and we do like peer mentoring. And if you need any like lesson plans, we kind of do something similar. Like we have them set like SMART goals and things like that to help them like achieve their goals. So if you ever need like any sort of lessons plans or things that we do like that, just let me know because I could always give you any research.
Okay, I will definitely let you know. Thank you.
I just want to say it's really cool that you're working with Nyaka because my high school in Korea used to work with Nyaka, which is really interesting because it's a very international scale organization. I just had a question, like, so from the presentation that I gather that you're working through Nyaka's already existing connections to connect students together. Is that your plan?
Yeah, so NIAC already has like secondary schools, so I was hoping to partner with the students going there.
Okay, very cool. Okay, thanks so much, Gavin. All right, guys, the final presentation is Rachel.
Hello. Um, you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Um, is my screen working?
Yes.
Um, so my project is about Afghanistan and about the community-based maternal and nutrient support in rural Afghanistan. Um, so my problem, because I wanted to address like what the issue is about going on Afghanistan is about how they face really high maternal and risk of shortage of female workers, and they face a lot of strong like gender norms restricting. So they have a lot of poor water and sanitation hygiene over there, and um sorry, and they're very limited to education as well. So their education for like health is not very strong, and especially their agriculture system is weak. Um so my background for this is to like um because it's very urgent because a lot of deaths are caused by maternal health, and especially as well as like low cost inventions can be fixed with like simple like um activities as well. Sorry. um this more over to more like background and evidence. For the proposal, um I was more like didn't really like finish the proposal because I wanted to think more of it, and I didn't really have a lot of like based on connections with people. So I was hoping if like because I've for like more context, I've partnered up with Team before with my club at my school, and we would help like women in Peru with funding. Um and I was hoping for one of my proposals it could be um about like creating a website for more information about women in Afghanistan and the rural issues going on there, um, as well as maybe creating a book about conducting cooking and about health because they're more very restricted over there as because of gender norms. So I wanted to like give that out. Sorry, like I was trying to like base it off a lot, like trying to like organize it a lot. Um, but I had like limited time access. Because I'm more did like more information about like the background on it more than the proposal. So I'm really sorry about that. Uh, but yeah, So, I was hoping to just spread awareness and more knowledge about it because this is a very big issue going on in Afghanistan. A lot of people don't know about. It's covering more of 67% of their deaths in women. So I was hoping to collab with a lot of people to make this aware. Um I think that's it. I'm sorry it was really short.
Don't worry about it. Good job. Also, don't worry about not having that much of a proposal. That's why we have the symposium to get feedback. I really liked the background research that you did, and I think you have a really good idea of spreading awareness. I think one suggestion that I might have is possibly finding a nonprofit organization that sends aid to Afghanistani women,
Mhm.
or tries to address the rural health issues, and collaborating with them to create a website where you can have awareness articles and possibly a fundraiser link. That's just one suggestion, but great job. Does anybody else have any comments for Rachel?
Rachel, I just want to say, even if it was short, it was great. You did a great
Thank
job.
you. I really I was more focused on their background because I was so invested and interested, and obviously this meeting was about proposals, but I wanted to take a little more time to think about it because it's kind of a little difficult, especially I don't have a lot of collaborations, but I was hoping on more ideas to try to get more feedback and more help and support for it. So I'm sorry it was short. I didn't want to just splat out all this background information. It was kind of sad, so I didn't want to just yap about it.
No, Rachel, you did great. You did amazing. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's give ourselves a round of applause first for finishing the presentations. I was so thoroughly impressed by every single one of you, and I'll talk about that a little bit more at the end. Not great. That's just one of the mentors for the other cohort. But all right, now let's wrap this up with a bit of a general discussion, guys. So, this is the part where you could have prepared something you want to bring up, but what was your experience this first semester? Obviously, because it's our first time collaborating, I would love to hear any feedback you have for the way that we were able to facilitate your experience. What what do you hope to get out of this presentation or this project? How do you hope to inspire your peers? So yeah, anybody who has thoughts on that, you guys could speak up. Go ahead, Phoebe.
So I would just like to say that I loved everybody's presentation. And I will say that in watching you guys present, I got so much of an amazing glimpse into each of your personalities. And you guys really spoke about yourselves and what you strive for and what you stand for through your presentations. And they were amazingly executed. I would love to, reconvene with you guys at some point and talk about these things because something that I also thought about is, and I would love if you guys could think about this yourself. If this project of yours were to expand to new heights once you execute it, would you pursue this in the future? Would you continue it on past this year working with the Yale UNICEF program? And I would love if you guys could give that some thought because I see these things being very successful for you guys.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree. I think this whole group discussion was really helpful because just seeing everyone's projects, I definitely got kind of new ideas and a different perspective of how I can incorporate into mine. But to answer Phoebe's question, I definitely do see my program could go for another year after that, or definitely continue in a different way or a different aspect in the future.
Yeah, I would
To
definitely
that
have to agree
point
with.
too. Nope, go ahead. You go.
Oh, okay. Definitely going based on Gavin's point. I think what we're all trying to do is to make an impact that even if we may not be the ones operating it, that it still leaves some change. And that's what I also hope to do with my project with the pen pal system, where even if I'm not the one making the pairs and like we have like AI do it or something, that's still going to be beneficial in the years to come.
I was also going to say, to reference something, so Calvin knows a little bit about this, but what started for another group of TEEM students as an idea and then a project has evolved into something much, much greater. And so that's something that we hope that you recognize, right? And that's why you've been selected to come up with these ideas, because the way that you are approaching them and the way that you have prepared even just this little bit so far shows that you're dedicated to take this beyond just a simple project, right? It certainly can end as such, but TEEM has the resources and support for you to really take this and make it a whole new level. So I just know that that's something that the future is it's possible for you.
I definitely think like I do see myself like working on this like in the future, but as well as like passing it down to other people and like leaving like a little like a generation, I guess you can say. But yeah, I definitely like that point.
And that's beautiful. And I just want to let you all know that whatever you pursue in life, whatever career you choose, if you choose a career, wherever y'all go, y'all will be very successful. And I am blessed to be in this meeting with you all because you guys all have such brilliant minds and you all are such beautiful people. And whatever you want to do, regardless of what it is, how you do it, the way you execute your ideas, you guys will be very successful. And in initiating this project of yours, do not be intimidated by absolutely anything. No matter what it is, no matter what obstacles you may have to overcome, embrace the challenge because that will strengthen you very much. So whatever y'all do, just pursue it, no matter what happens. And I wish you guys the best of luck in your projects. They were beautiful.
It's very kind of you to say, Phoebe.
For me, I really like how there's like no limitations to the project and we could just kind of take our passion wherever we want to go with it, which is why I feel like a lot of us like want to continue the project even after like the cohort's over.
That's
And I do
a
believe
good
it's
point, Maria, about the bounds of the project. And that actually reminds me of definitely some feedback I have for you, Lauren, about the project. The fact that there were no limits on where we could take it was really great. It let us obviously pursue so many different avenues. Um, but the one downside of pursuing so many different avenues is the mentor pairings being determined before we were able to have ideas or establish concepts, because our mentors provided a lot of support. But I know, like, for example, in my instance, I have no idea if this was true in any of yours. I was paired with Anna, who's a wonderful neuroscience major. Um, my project, if you couldn't tell, leans hard into chemical and mechanical engineering, which was not exactly her area of specialty. So she had a really hard time helping me. So much so that we came to you and we got Elijah, and now we're doing awesome and we've got our whole group and everything. But I think there might be something there as in terms of a something that can be done differently in future with future cohorts so that they feel like they have a little bit more support from jump. Some sort of way of like trying to match mentors with students based on their goals and interests, um, and maybe potentially like skill set that they're looking for. That way they can make more their out of them.
Sorry, Calvin, I think you were breaking up a little bit, but I got the gist of what you were saying. Thanks for the feedback, and I'm glad that Elijah is also providing you with better help. Yeah. On that note about feedback, if any of you guys have anything to say about the program, then bring it up right now. But also, I'm going to be sending out next week a feedback form for you guys to fill out for me in more detail so that you guys can take more time to also reflect on what you would want in the next semester and going forward. So, yeah, that's that. And if no one else has anything else to say, I think we can start wrapping up. So I just wanted to say again, I am so, so proud of each and every one of you. And I was genuinely so floored by all of your ideas and your presentations because number one, I can't believe all of you guys had such well prepared presentations. That's amazing. Number two, you guys were also so thoughtful and considerate in your comments to everybody. And the fact that every one of you had such diverse ideas, like Gavin, you were talking about like the mental health of students, while like Natalie, it was cultural exchange, and then Calvin and Ria, just like so much STEM, and it was really amazing to see. Also loved like the women's rights aspects with like Rachel and helping local people like Caitlin, and also women's rights from Phoebe as well. All in all, to say that I'm extremely impressed and I cannot wait to see how you guys implement your projects in the next semester. I think you will 99% be working with the same mentors that you were this semester, and you can talk to me about that, how you would like that in the feedback form as well. But yeah, otherwise, I think this is it for the Winter Symposium. Once again, congratulations, guys, and it was so nice to have you all here.
Yes, so excited. What's the word I'm looking for? Echo Lauren's statement. I am very impressed with everyone here. And you know that if at any point you need help from team or from me specifically, reach out. Happy to have one-on-ones as we approach the next phase. Lauren and I will get together and make sure that you feel as prepared as possible to approach the next phase, because this is where logistics come more into play. So we're going to give you some materials to help guide your thoughts and ideas. So great job, everybody.
Also, one last thing, if any of you want to reach out to me personally to either discuss your project idea or just have me as a resource, I'm always here. Just letting you know.
Thank you so much for everything. I just wanted to say one thing. Um, I do like really enjoy like the creative liberty we had with creating the projects, but like for me as someone like I really like to like have like kind of like rules to go by, and that really helps me. So like maybe for next year, if like this program does like repeat, I would like give them like sample projects, so like maybe use like one of ours to like kind of give them like an idea of like what a project should look like.
Yeah, that's an amazing point. The funny thing about that is that I'm kind of in a similar situation with you guys where I became Yale UNICEF itself is a very newly restarted program, and I actually founded this fellowship program with my co-president like 2 semesters ago. So that is really, really helpful, and the fact that we can reuse your projects as examples is awesome. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. Have a great rest of your evening and a great winter break, and I'm excited to read your responses to the
Thank you
feedback
so
form.
much. Everyone enjoy
Bye,
the holidays.
Thank you
everyone.
so much.
Thank you, Lauren. We'll
Bye.
be
Thank
in
you,
touch.
Lauren.
Got it.